healthcare in America is practically a joke. I can't really speak for how healthcare works in other countries, but here in America, a good chunk of the healthcare system is privatized. So, in the same way that private companies own the mechanic shops, a private company will also own a hospital. And if you've ever had issues finding a good mechanic who can reliably work on your car and actually cares about you and your vehicle, it's practically the same thing with your body and the way that doctors treat you as a person, or rather, they even treat you as a person. It can depend completely on the doctor and in the privatized hospital that they work for. Me personally, my general doctor is not too bad. He seems to actually care about me, but when it comes to specialists and people who are supposed to specialize in the different things that I have wrong with me, they treat me like I am nothing but a paycheck and they don't care about me at all. Personally, I have had swollen lymph nodes as well as a various slew of systems for at least 10 to 12 weeks. Even now, my lymph nodes in my groins are the size of like 3 or 4 times the size of rice, and the lymph nodes in my neck are like half the size of an egg if you rounded that out. And I've various symptoms and issues that come from that, and I'm trying to figure out what the cause of that is. The last specialist that I visited, they didn't read my pre-check paper. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically a piece of paper that I fill out before I come in that tells the doctor what's wrong with me and what the issues I'm having are. All that they did was use my referral paper to sign forward the procedures that my general doctor asked for. They didn't do a physical on me. They didn't cross-reference any of my tests. They didn't look to see who my general doctor was. And when I gave them the name of my general doctor, contact them or to figure out who they were to cross-reference about what's wrong with me. Despite me having ultrasound tests and my lymph nodes being physically swollen, they refused to acknowledge that my lymph nodes are swollen. They didn't do a physical on me to check. They basically just scheduled the procedures that my general doctor suggested and pushed me out of the office. This is the person who's supposed to specialize in the field of figuring out what's exactly wrong with me, and the person who's supposed to be able to be the one who pinpoints why my lymph nodes are swollen. And instead, they didn't even ask me my name. They refused to look at any of the tests that I had previously done to me. They treated me like I was nothing but a paycheck, and they wanted me in and out as fast as they could. When I kept repeatedly mentioning my lymph nodes and telling them that I wanted to figure out what was wrong with them, and that's the reason I was there, they said that they would need to perform surgery to cut them out to figure out if they had cancer, and that's all they could do. When obviously there's many different things that you can do to pinpoint why my lymph nodes are swollen or what is wrong with me. Obviously, this is also not the case with every single doctor or specialist. My general doctor, for example, is definitely not as greedy or money hungry as the specialist appears to be, but it can be super hard to find a specialist in time. I had to wait 2.5 months for this appointment. Who knows when I'll actually get the procedures that I need done through my general doctor. I basically waited the entire time that my lymph nodes have been swollen to meet the specialist, and when I do, they show zero interest in me and actually finding out what's wrong with me, and they push me off to have the procedures done and then back to my general doctor. And that's very concerning considering this is the person who's supposed to specialize in what's wrong with me and supposed to be able to help me pinpoint my health problems. And at first, it was largely a reflection of the medical system itself. It seems to be that many of these doctors take advantage of the way the healthcare system is privatized in America to make themselves extreme profit without actually having to worry about patients or even consider them as humans. I can say with 100% certainty that they treated me like I was nothing but a paycheck, and they did not care at all what happens to me or my health. They wanted to get me out of their office as quickly as possible. And I wasn't even able to schedule my procedures that day. I would have to receive a phone call later, which will probably be another couple weeks, and then my procedures will be scheduled later on, which will probably be within a couple months. And at this point, by the time my procedures are here, my lymph nodes will have been swollen and all the symptoms along with it for 12 to 14 weeks, maybe 16 to 18 weeks. One of the main symptoms is weight loss. I lost 25 to 30 pounds, and I've been able to maintain that range of weight without losing any more, but it's still extremely concerning, and I do not see that reflection of concern in my general doctor or in the specialist at all. They would rather see me spend as much money as they can get me to spend and push me out of the office than they would actually help me with my health. And I think that's something that a lot of people can reflect on in America, and a lot of people here are dealing with. And like I said, I don't know a lot about other countries. Is it worse somewhere else where there's not as much profit incentive, or is it worse here? It almost seems like it would be worse somewhere else because at least these doctors know they can make money off me, so they seem like they would want to help me. But at the same time, if I keep coming back, then they make less money. So it's really hard to put my finger on or understand the exact system or why this is happening to me. But I can say I've been juggling to find out what's wrong with my health. for the past 10 to 14 weeks with little to no help, and it just seems like I keep getting pushed off onto the next doctor and onto the next specialist who doesn't care about me at all, and it's really, really hard to find somebody who actually does. It's been extremely traumatic and emotionally damaging of an experience, along with all the symptoms and issues I already have, and I just wanted to share that with you guys and be completely transparent as to why I haven't uploaded as much, as to why I have so much less energy. I'm so fatigued constantly, and it's extremely hard for me to meet all the deadlines that I set for myself. And I by no means mean that as an excuse. I will continue to upload and work my hardest to make the content that I love making. I don't make this content for the algorithm. If I did, I would just force out a bunch of tutorials for you guys, and I wouldn't make videos like this at all, obviously. I make this kind of content because I want to provide for the community, and I really appreciate everyone who supports me and want to give value to everybody who views me. So thank you guys so much for listening. Sorry if this is just a boring ass rant. I'm sure anybody else who's dealt with the American healthcare system totally understands, but I hope everybody has a good day. So much love. Peace.